Welcome back
to another episode.
You're so excited. You're getting started before we get started. I love that. Welcome back to This Takes the Cake from our Florida Palm Beach office.
We're in Palm Beach, guys. I'm so excited.
This is the Florida Girls podcast.
Yes.
Caroline from Tampa is here. I'm in Palm Beach. We get to sell. I should have put a palm tree here.
Yes. Our intro needs to be Florida by Taylor Swift.
Florida. I should probably not do.
So good.
Tap it out. I love it. That should be our song. That should be our theme song.
It is.
Everything.
I feel like the Florida girls, we rock and roll. We do it the best. I'm excited to be here.
Caroline, tell us why you're in Palm Beach other than to come see me.
Obviously, I had to come see Jackie's office and come and hang out with her.
And you're coming back next month?
Yes, I can't wait.
So excited.
I'm just right down the road, kind of.
You're kind of a neighbor, 2.5 hours away.
Yeah, no, it works. You have this coast, I have that coast. We got to come hang out sometime.
I want to come to Tampa and do a wedding.
You should.
I did one. Okay, so fun fact, I did one years ago over there, but I didn't know it was in Tampa. I was just trying to book everything I could book.
Right.
And then so it was we did the timeline, we did the layout and everything, and I'm getting ready to
Oh my gosh.
And then it said, I mapped it and I was like, oh, what? That's wrong.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. And I went ahead and redid it. And it was
how many hours?
I was 2.5 hours. I was like, what?
Oh no.
What's happening? And
did you come back the night of the wedding?
I came back the same night, and it was so funny because we were it was me and two other girls, and we came back the same night, and we were so sick. We had the worst cold, but it's
no.
what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So I called the girls. They're like, we're so sick, and I'm like, man up. We gotta grind. We gotta roll through it. And we are stopping and getting medicine balls at Starbucks on the way.
I love it.
Drinking Dayquil like it's
Dedicated.
candy on the way, and we're just driving craziness. It was so
blink and we'll be at dinner, and then it's time to go.
Yeah, and then the wedding ended early, so it was not bad getting home.
Oh, but good.
I was like, what am I doing? But it was awesome. And she was referred by another bride, so I had to be there, and I got to see my old
bride.
brides.
Those are the best.
I
love that.
Isn't that fun when you see friendly faces at a wedding?
Well, okay, guys, I'm in Palm Beach because Jackie is a booked and busy queen, and she was just like, listen, I have too many weddings this weekend. Do you want to come to Palm Beach? And I said, absolutely, I want to come to Palm Beach. So
I think that's one of the fun parts about our offices is that we get to kind of go everywhere and do everything.
Yes.
So
it's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, you're the traveling queen right now.
This past wedding season went on a 5-week different city wedding bender.
Do you love it? Because I feel like you get to learn so many different aspects of it and different weddings. Because you came from Myrtle Beach, so you know Myrtle Beach like the back of your hand.
Right.
I've done weddings in Myrtle Beach, but now when you go to Chicago, that's a whole different level of ball game.
Yeah.
Because I know when Sarah came down and helped me for the Bahamas wedding, our Savannah, she was like, don't ever call me again for that.
Yeah.
But
no, it's crazy.
It's crazy. It's different. It's
Every city's so different. You think that you're normal, you get humbled. I will say that. Because your normal is, not Chicago's normal. And they're like, why do you have this super pretty all colored layout? We don't need that.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want to print that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you get there and the whole venue set up. They have the linens on the tables. They have the forks and knives. And you guys get that too, don't you?
You're spoiled.
Yeah. I love that. But every place is different. But it's a lot of fun.
And Myrtle's different. Because I remember when I first started and Sarah called me and she was like, hey, do you want to come to do a wedding at Brook Green? And I was like, hell yeah, let's go. But I like that
Brook Green too.
Brook Green's a whole different beast. And we got there and there's stacks and stacks and stacks of chairs and tables. And I'm like, who's going to put those out? And we're tying all the things. And my venues all come with staff that does that. So it's kind of that. I felt like if you can do a wedding in Myrtle Beach, that's wedding planning boot camp.
I totally agree. And I really think that Charleston and Myrtle Beach are similar in that aspect. But when you have a wedding and the venue staff has everything done for you, you're like, what do I do with myself?
Well, in the beginning, I kind of hated it because I was like, no, I don't want to get weak. You know how you don't want to get I don't want to be off my game. And I feel like when they make it too easy on us, we're off our game. So I want to keep going and I'm wanting, and my venues now, I'm grabbing the chair, girls, I'm grab the chairs. Let's go. Let's flip with this. And the venue comes over and they're like, no. It's insurance. You can't lift our chairs. We have to do that.
That would kill me because I'm the first one too. I'm like, we can help you.
Yeah.
We'll help you.
Exactly.
I'll put linens on.
Last week we did a wedding and the bride wanted flower petals to going down the aisle. And I was like, well, let me just check with the venue because a lot of times they don't like that because it can stain the deck and this and the other.
Yeah.
So I asked them and they were like, if you sweep them up. And I'm like, they're letting me do labor. I get to sweep it up. So I did. I was like, absolutely, I'll sweep it up. Like that's her pictures.
I feel like in Myrtle too, like those girls do everything.
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 Well, you need like 4 to 5 to 6 people in a wedding. Doesn't even matter if it's 70 people.
Yeah, like, it's insane. So I mean, then I come and I've been here, Chicago, and I really I had me and one other girl. And that's like crazy. Yeah. Myrtle's like, what? Are you okay? Well, like, you need to hire people.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's fine.
It's totally different. And I remember when I tell Sarah, I'm like, oh no, I don't have to be at the wedding till 1 tomorrow. I don't have to be at the wedding.
That was the biggest shock. I asked you when
you got here, I'm like, what time do you have to be at the wedding tomorrow? You're like, I can't. The venue won't let me in until 3:30.
3:30. I'm like, what am I gonna do all day?
Go to the beach. You're in Florida,
right?
Go to the beach. East Coast.
Like, oh my gosh, that's a big thing because in Tampa too. A lot of those venues, like you can't get in until like 3:30.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest shock I think I've had moving.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I would get everywhere else if like I can.
Oh,
9
a.m.,
9,
10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Easy. So, and when I first started doing that and learning that, because I remember when I did, a wedding in Brooklyn and stuff, I got into that grind. And so I would say, oh no, we're going to be there at 10 o'clock in the morning. And the venue was like, no, you're not. And I was absolutely like a panic attack. Like, how am I supposed to set up all her stuff in a matter of a couple hours?
Yeah. That's my biggest thing too. Like, I think some people stress about, they're like, oh, ceremony is the most hectic part of the day for me or stressful. And I'm like, for me, I want to get everything done as soon as I get there.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll be like, okay, I'm good.
No, yeah, I want to get everything done because especially before the bride even gets there, when she gets there, I want her to arrive, see everything set up, and then I want to focus on her. I want to be holding her bouquet. I want to be helping her dress. I don't want her to be like, "Where's my planner?"
Yes,
because we're setting up.
And you already have, this in your head of like exactly what steps you're going to take. So you don't want her to see that process and be like, "Oh, what about this? What about this?" Like, girl, get your makeup done. Yeah. Relax.
Enjoy your day. We got this. And I'm like sitting there like the night before, putting batteries and candles and pulling the tabs on the glow sticks.
Yes.
The tabs get everywhere.
Yes.
Those things, making the wands not detangled, all those things ahead of the wedding beforehand. I went to rehearsal earlier today and she's like, oh, I have all this stuff for you. And I was like, okay, no worries. I said, I'll grab it in my car. And that way when I get to the venue tomorrow, I can hit the ground running with my team and we can roll. She goes, okay, perfect. And she hands me one box and a welcome sign. I was like, what else can I grab? She's like, no, that's it.
Those are the best. Those are the best brides.
Okay, so pack up is 2 bathroom baskets. No, I don't do place cards. You want
Love it.
I'm like, welcome sign. She's like, oh no, that can be thrown out. Like that was at Michael's. It was not a big deal. Like, and I'm like, all right, cool. And no grand exit.
Oh, wow.
I know. I already love her.
Yeah.
I already love her. Like,
so I literally last weekend, I had this big wooden arch. I had like 2 mirrors. I had place car. I mean, like a whole carload of things.
Yeah. I've had to do like my husband's truck and my truck.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even like a DIY wedding. But I had one bride say to me, she handed me, which this is why I had to change things like on our proposals, but she handed me a Excel sheet.
Oh my gosh.
The night of the rehearsal. And it was a New Year's Eve wedding. So it's not like I can randomly call in people. Like the staff is already staffed and it's a holiday. And I said, oh, this is all your setup. And she had like listed of whose responsibility it was. She goes, yeah. And I said, okay. I said, how
like family and friends?
No, like me and me.
Okay.
And then rental place and then me.
Okay. Oh God.
Most of it had my name on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it was a 55 person wedding. So I had one other girl with me. And I said, well, how are you getting all this here? And she goes, oh, we rented a U-Haul.
Oh no. So that's like, the worst.
I need to like make sure what we are setting up, we know well in advance so that I can staff appropriately, even if the girls aren't there the whole day. But if I need labor, I'm like thinking, oh, God,
well, if not, you're seriously, you're running around all day just because of the personal items.
Yes. And then you feel like you're hired to be labor and not planner because you can't run the show when you're labor.
And that's seriously the best part. That's like my favorite part. I love it.
Yeah. I love, that's what I love. I love being there, holding a veil, holding a fan on her, giving her water. Let me get a straw. Let me do, like, I love taking care of the couple.
Yeah.
And I think there's some semblance of a miscommunication of a wedding planner is not a laborer.
Yeah.
A wedding planner is a planner. And that's super important.
No,
we'll do it all.
We do it all. I've been a florist. I've been a babysitter. I literally a few weekends ago I had a baby on my hip.
Yeah, I was a babysitter last weekend.
It's crazy.
So he was cute though. I didn't mind it.
I mean, like I would totally be lying if I said I didn't
dog
enjoy
walker.
it.
One of my girls got bit by a dog because we had to walk the dog.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Dog
no,
walker.
we've done. I mean, we obviously don't stay and clean up, but I mean, you do get put in situations where it's like, I love this venue and I love these people.
Yeah.
So
well, our team's like a go-getter, and we've talked about this so many times. Like our team, we grind and we will never say never.
Yeah.
We will never say no. But don't be upset when you get that extra bill.
Yeah.
because
we will do everything we can to make sure that your day is absolutely perfect.
My girls called me one time and after the wedding, and I was like, how'd it go? And they were like, it went good, but like catering, have we ever worked with them? I said, no, we didn't work with that company before. She's like, we were literally plating the salads and serving them. We were pouring drinks. We were pouring champagne.
Oh my gosh.
We were running around being the servers because they had 100 people and only 2 servers. And I'm like, how do you
see a catering
staff that way?
company will make or break a wedding?
Everybody will. Catering, entertainment, planner.
Yeah.
Those 3.
That should be your
officiant,
the big dogs.
Officiant can get away with it. A friend being officiant. Florist, we can make anything look pretty if I have the right equipment. I got a hot glue gun and Michael's nearby.
And we've already done this a million times with DIY.
Exactly. A wedding a few weeks ago, we went in and she said, oh, we just need you to set out the centerpieces. I said, okay.
They always make it seem like it's nothing.
No, the centerpieces weren't even made. There were buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets of flowers from like Trader Joe's.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So while we're on this topic, this is a bride that I've dealt with this wedding season. And we're talking about personal items, all that good stuff.
Wait, say her name. I'm just kidding. Don't do it.
No, you almost talked me into it. I was like, oh my God.
Kidding. Don't do it. We have to figure out how to get the little bleep over your mouth.
Right.
Where like Peyton can put like the little Stunning and Brilliant logo over your mouth.
We'll work on that. But usually, when we get those personal items from our bride, like they have it all wrapped up for us. It's in a box, whatever the case may be. We get it at rehearsal, whatever. We meet them. They bring it to our office. If you have a great office like Palm Beach does.
Palm Beach and Myrtle Beach are like, okay, so we jokingly call the Palm Beach office Mini Myrtle because Myrtle Beach is probably like 3 to 4 times size this
Yes,
office.
but it's literally like this.
It's like a little replica.
Legit Mini Myrtle.
This is like Myrtle Beach's dollhouse.
Yes.
Office.
Yes, I love it.
Isn't it cute?
Yeah.
I know. I'm so excited. But it feels so homey.
No, it does. This is Palm Beach Dream House. And
Palm Beach Barbie.
Yeah. Well, Jackie's about to have a grand opening, so I'm so excited.
Everybody's coming. I'm so excited.
Yes.
It's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited. The owners are coming in. I'm so excited.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Because I feel like it's like something we all work towards, and we all when we start this franchise, we all have goals. We all have dreams. The only difference between a dream and a goal is a date. Yeah. So I feel like it's super important to, kind of put that out there. We make the mood boards. We always do all these things. And I had an office in the first 2 years, and it was funny because my brother came in to see me one time, and he's like, this is my office. He's like, this is a walk-in closet. I was like, yeah, it kind of is a walk-in closet. But, it was a space for me and my clients to come and to feel like I had that space. And now to be able to get to the point where we can expand that space and have a home for our team and have a home for our brides to come see and to do a podcast in. Yeah. Like, these are like huge goals.
I mean, especially for new girls too. Like, me seeing this is amazing because I came from Myrtle and I got to work in that amazing office. Then I went to Tampa and my dining room table is my office.
We all started
and now I'm like, oh, okay, the future is bright. We just have to get there.
You just got to keep grinding and trust the process because it will come. And I remember when I started this and Sarah was like, no, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And I was like, yeah, okay, like I'll believe you because you're there. But I was like so excited.
Yeah,
and
it comes out. I feel like it goes so fast though.
It really does. I cannot believe I'm in my 7th year.
That's insane.
7th year, hundreds and hundreds of brides and vendors that have become family to me. And it's
that's the best part.
It's like one of those where, you have this dream when you start a franchise and then it's not that you reach them and you settle, like your dreams change. Yeah. Like, is this my end game? No. Hell no. Like, we're going to keep going. Like, but this was like being able to get a bigger space this year was huge for me. And then being able to wait, what if we start recording out of Palm Beach too? And I want this for everybody because I feel like I had flown up to Myrtle a couple times with some of my vendors and stuff like that. And we do, and every time we're up there together. which I don't think we knew I've ever done one.
No, this is our first one, which I can already tell, like, our producer right now, he's going to be like, you guys shut up. We're done. Like, you're done.
He's going to be doing,
yeah. But we're just like, we're going so good. I love it. It's just so easy.
Don't you? But I feel like our goals change, and it's like, when I was like, wait, what if I buy the equipment? What if I can get my vendors on here? What if I can get my past brides on here? What if I can get my team on here? And then I can send it to Myrtle Beach and they can just produce it and do it.
Well, I mean, kind of honestly, same concept of S&B. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think when Sarah first started this, she thought she was going to be all across the United States. And now we're like, wait, like.
So, and that's a fun fact too. I don't know if people are aware. So when I started this is huge. So this is like a huge shout out to Sarah, because in 7 years, so we had a girl in Charlotte before me, and Charlotte, North Carolina. So we had a franchise before me. And as soon as I signed on, she decided that she wanted to go a different path.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. But she did it for 5 years or so, and then she went a different path. And when I signed on and we set up the photo shoot and I decided to franchise out, and Alyssa had signed on right after me in Charleston. And I remember,
you guys are the OG.
We're the OG.
I remember seeing that post. I was in college.
Do you really?
Yes. I literally followed Alyssa from high school.
Later, everybody.
I'm so dead
for you. No, but that's so, like, that makes me my heart so happy. But I remember, and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And I was like, me and my husband had so many conversations. Is this the right path for me?
Yeah,
like, am I being selfish, following my dream and putting like my family at risk with finances? Is this something really we can do? And when we decided to make that leap, and I remember being in those photo shoots, and it was me, Sarah, and Alyssa, and here we were, the stunning and brilliant
balloons, right?
Balloons. We did the leopard one with the Starbucks cups, and we did the balloons, and we did the T-shirts with our state on it. And I look back and I'm like, who was that girl?
Yeah, because then you thought that was like, it was huge.
That was my dream, is to own my own company, and I did. And now it's like,
it just keeps on.
In 7 years, we have 15 locations.
Insane.
Nationwide.
And you have your own team.
I have my own Florida team. Tomorrow we have weddings. I have all 9 of my girls working tomorrow.
Insane.
We have our own team, but 15 locations up the East Coast, from New York City down to South Florida, Miami, up to Dallas and Lake Tahoe and Reno. And it's like, we're taking over.
We really are. It's crazy. I mean, I think you setting this podcast with, up in your office is just another example of that.
I'm so excited for next year. Like this year and next year, like this year exceeded my goals and my expectations, and next year, like, bring it. Let's do it. Let's roll. I'm so excited.
Wow. Can you guys tell we love what we do or what?
We do really love what we do.
Like, we literally, sorry, Peyton, you wrote this wonderful thing for us, and we're just like, whatever.
We haven't even gotten to line 2.
I know.
Sorry, P. We're getting there, promise.
Okay, well, one thing we can talk about, both living in Florida, is hurricane season, because this year was very crazy.
This year, okay, so I've been in Florida 30 years. Aging myself. 30 years. 30 years of hurricanes, 30 years of hurricane season.
Yeah.
7 years of events with hurricanes. This year was absolutely batshit crazy.
Yes. Like, well, this is my first year in Florida, and that's all I've heard, is that this year was insane.
Insane. And for me, in where we are, everybody's, the hurricanes are, and I was like, it's going to hit us like a tropical storm. It's really not that big of a deal. Thank God I had no weddings that weekend. It was really not that big of a deal, and it turned into the tornado spinoffs. Well, I've been hearing the tornado spinoffs since I moved here in like 5th grade.
It's no biggie.
Tornado spinoffs here.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Meanwhile, you're sending this in our group chat, and like some of the owners are like, get in a closet right now. What are you doing?
Yeah. So I'm sitting on my couch, and nothing's really happening outside. It's windy. It's breezy. There's no rain. So we turn on Netflix for a little bit. We can't watch the weather anymore. Turn on Netflix for a little bit. This was literally last month. And the show ends, and my daughter sits there and she goes, hey, that red triangle on the TV is coming right at us.
Oh my gosh.
Within seconds of her saying that, all of our phones go off, and my mom is texting like crazy. What's happening? What's happening? Are you guys okay? It's like coming at you. And it's like literally saying, this is not a joke. Get in your safe room now. I'm a planner. I need to see what's happening and where it's going. So I, in all of my brilliance, run out the front door to see what direction it's going in. I'm going to go into the safe room should it turn towards me. But yeah, we took the videos, and I'm like,
from our point of view, Jacque was a storm chaser, literally filming this tornado.
I felt like I was in Twister. I actually bought the T-shirts that says this is not my first. I bought them. Yeah, this is not my first tornado. So we literally, I go outside and I'm in. The tornado is like going by, and it's so close to the point where you can see the debris.
Oh my
flying off of it, and I'm going, oh my god,
that's so scary.
And if it turns and it's coming, like we're going in, and I don't really know what to do after that.
Yeah,
except blankets
also
and
like
alcohol.
Yeah, right. I mean, I feel like you always, tornado warning, but like it never happens. I feel like it doesn't happen.
This is like, I could never live in Oklahoma. It was entirely too close. And now I almost feel like it didn't even hit me. I watched it close enough to where if the clouds get dark, I'm good. I'm staying inside.
Oh, did it spook you a little bit?
It was definitely a little bit like, I won't ignore the whole, it's a hurricane party, it'll be fine.
Right. Well, no, that's the mentality. I mean, I've lived in South Carolina for forever, and that's the whole mentality too. Like, it's kind of like when we get snowstorm. It's like, yay.
Yeah.
We get to hang out with our friends.
You're going to have to go buy milk.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I had a bride, and she was supposed to get married in Asheville.
Oh, Asheville.
And the sweetest family ever. Seriously, the sweetest family ever. And they obviously could not get married in Asheville anymore because Hurricane Helene hit and just destroyed the venue.
Oh.
And this was about a week before the wedding. They did a super hard pivot to getting married in Tampa.
Okay.
Great venue in Tampa, great team. We're excited. We're like, don't worry.
To the rescue.
Yeah, like we're gonna make this happen. Yeah. So we're obviously watching the weather. We've changed contracts. We've changed vendors. Our band was amazing from Atlanta. They're like, we're on board. We're still coming. No, don't worry.
Amazing.
Yes, everything's looking amazing. We even had specialty linens that had to get rerouted, but it was working out. Then Milton hit, and I'm sure you guys have seen the videos. Like the traffic to get out of Tampa was insane.
Oh, I was texting you because I was like, are you guys, like, do you need to come down here? Like, you can come down here. Thank God you didn't. You just shit yourself from the tornado, too.
Right? That was in the middle of my 5-week wedding bender. I don't even know where. I think I was in Charleston.
Yeah, because you were like, I'm not in the area. I'm fine. Because I was like, I know your family's up north and you're not. Like, I'm like,
my mom would have been like, you better get home right now.
And it was cute because when I texted you to come to me, Sarah in our Savannah office texted me to come to her.
Yes,
she's like, you can come to me. You can come to me. And I was like, we're supposed to be good. I just texted Caroline to come to me.
I know. I love that about us.
Such a family.
But like honestly, it would have been really so much fun. We would have been hanging the whole time.
We really would have. Until the tornado came.
Right. So Milton comes, and obviously Mom is a wreck, and she is just like, I don't know what to do. And we're at this point, we're just waiting. The venue's fine. Mm-hmm. Milton has hit, and they're obviously not in Tampa, but none of their family can get back to their houses because thankfully they didn't have any flooding, but there's just trees everywhere. They can't get home. They don't have power. So then we did a hard pivot again to December.
Okay.
Now.
That's a safer month.
This bride and groom was about to have the party of their lives. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And talk about like a time like finally to get there. And like it's that much sweeter once it finally comes.
I missed out a detail about this that definitely takes the cake. It makes the story even worse.
Stop it. 2
hurricanes, but it makes the story worse. In the midst of all this, after Milton, the bride and groom's house burns down.
Wait, what?
I know. Literally out of nowhere.
Wait, down?
Burns down. Not because of the hurricane.
No, but just
that burns down. They were going to sleep one night. They live in a duplex, so they had neighbors on one side of them. And they were going to sleep one night. The groom kind of sees fire. He's like, what's going on? She said she didn't even have time to grab her glasses. And they get their neighbors out. And they don't have a house.
They didn't know what started it?
Mm-mm. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I have been through that, and it's like I have the chills because that was us running. And I mean, you don't realize at the time when your life makes that veer why, but then it comes full circle, and you're like, that's why. And it's one of those like, you feel like, oh God, well, you feel like, why is this happening? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, and then it all comes full circle, but
I mean,
you'll get through it. And having been there, I can confidently say my biggest struggle with that was not that I lost all my material items.
At that point,
my family was okay.
Things.
Things are things. Like, it took me a while to get through that. I could not get comfortable.
Oh, yes.
Because everything was either given to me new or borrowed. So I could, when you're comfortable, you want to sit on your couch in your pajamas and just curl up. I didn't have a couch. I didn't have a home. I didn't have my pajamas. I had somebody's borrowed clothes, and I could not get comfortable in my own skin no matter what. And then hundreds of people came together to help us, and it was fantastic, and it was overwhelming, and it was amazing. And then it turned out to be, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to head home. Understandable. I just wanted to head home, and I couldn't head home. And that was like the hardest part to accept and learn from and grow from and move on from.
Gosh.
But
I can't imagine.
It's funny because your story with the hurricane and the tornadoes, I had a bride who just booked us in September, October, and we're looking for a venue, we're looking for a date, so we don't have anything yet. And she wants to get married next year in October. And she had said, she had reached out to me to set up a venue visit. And I said, well, the venue is closing down for the storms, but let's go ahead and set up a call with them. The bride emailed me right before, like hours before their call. And she said, I don't mean to freak out, but can we cancel the call? We've already lost power, and I know we're supposed to do a call today, but this is my first hurricane, and I'm super scared to.
Yeah, no, people don't grow up with hurricanes. They get scared.
I was like, you're fine, totally fine.
Yeah.
She'll understand. We'll reschedule the call. Rescheduled the call. Hurricane came and left. Tornado came and left. Everything was over. I reached out to her the week after. I said, hey, just want to reach out, touch base. Do you want to reschedule that call? And she emailed me, and she said, I meant to email you next week. She said, our home was hit with a tornado, and we have severe damage, and now we're scheduling contractors and stuff. But she said, we are pivoting. I cannot have my family and friends come into town in October.
Yeah.
I need to pick a due date.
Yeah.
I said, listen, I've been there. I said, just settle, focus on you for a little bit. We have time, and I don't want you to stress over this. So we are moving dates for next year based on this October.
I hate that. I mean, I hate that hurricane season is literally right in the middle of wedding season, because we connect so well with these families and these brides, and it's just like.
And October's typically not bad. Usually when it's September, August, September is usually, October's typically not bad. I got married at the end of October, knowing it's the end of hurricane season, the likelihood of anything. Good. I get a good deal, cheaper bar.
I love it. Also, like, I feel like just with this alone, like, buy your cancellation insurance.
But cancellation insurance is key. And although it can't save the day, knowing you have that little bit of a safety net.
Because you never think this is going to be you.
No.
Ever. Until it is.
Becca came in after the hurricane, and she comes in, she goes, I'm just so heartbroken over this couple. And I said, it was one of our couples. And she said, no. She said, it was her roommate's friend. They were getting married the next day, right where the tornado come through. She goes, I don't think they're going to have the wedding. There's no power at the venue. And I said, well, what venue? And she told me, and I literally drive past the venue on the way to work. And I said, Becca, there's no roof. Like,
oh my gosh.
There's no roof on it. And she goes, I said, they're not getting married tomorrow. She goes, they have no wedding insurance. And I'm like, I said, do they have a planner? She said, no, they did it on their own. They have no wedding insurance. And I'm like, because here's the thing is it doesn't fix everything, but it will cover you should the date have to be removed, should you have to cancel due to something. And here's the thing is wedding insurance is not just for hurricanes.
Yeah.
It could be a
if
venue
the venue
fire.
burns down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A venue floods, a pipe breaks, anything. Should anything happen, you have that comfort level of knowing you're going to be covered. You're going to get those deposits back. Your vendors are going to get paid. Everything will be okay, type of a thing. So,
wow, what a sad turn that we just had.
I know. I feel like Peyton just gave us this
I know.
List
I hate
everything bad that you've ever dealt with in a hurricane. Thanks, Peyton.
Because I feel like what we do is so happy, and it's like literally wedding day, and she just said, "Here you go.
Here you go. Tell us how this could suck."
We're kidding. We love you, Peyton.
No, we love you. So tell me. Okay, so hurricane plans. So tell me about like all the cities you've planned in, because you travel and you've planned in Myrtle. So tell me about all that. Like, you've been around. I don't want to say Carolyn's been around, but she gets around.
I feel like I've always wanted a job where I can travel, but I mean, it's obviously, like, I'm in Tampa, and it's my first year here, and I came from Myrtle, and we all like. When you're established in a location, you have a busy wedding season.
I remember when it was first announced that you were taking over Tampa. What did I send you? I was so excited.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Girl. I'm still working in the Myrtle Beach office at this point, and
I didn't even tell anybody. I just like so excited.
Sarah's like, there's a package for you. It's like addressed to you. And I'm like, what? Like, this is so weird. Jacque sends me like the best Florida care package ever.
I was like, welcome to our state.
Literally, she like towels, like kitchen towels, a mug, a Florida book. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was like like an orange scented candle.
Yes.
It was like the mug was so cute. It had a little car and it said, "Look at me moving to Florida" and shit.
Yes. Oh
so
my
fun.
gosh. I was like, wow. That was like the moment when I was like, oh my God. Like,
oh my God, it's happening.
I'm moving to Florida.
I was so excited. I was like, we got another Florida girl.
Yes.
But then I was also like, stay north. Don't come down here.
Well, so I was so used to having like being busy during wedding season. And obviously like, you know, I'm not going to move to Tampa and not know anyone and be automatically have a booked season. So that was kind of driving me crazy a little bit. So I just reached out to everyone. I'm like, if you need help, let me know.
And I remember the bride reached out to me and she was like, hey, I'm getting married on this date and I really need your help. And I was like, listen, my team is booked, and that's another thing I love about our team, our whole SMB family is I'm booked, but let me reach out to one of our other office owners and see if she could do it. And she's like, wait, she would come from Tampa and do a wedding? And I was like, she's amazing. Hell yeah, she will. She loves this.
I literally flew to Chicago for a meeting.
I connected you guys on an email and she was like, yep, need you, want you, do it.
She's amazing.
So sweet.
And like it gives me an excuse like to hang out with the girls. Like I love it. I feel like, you know, annually we see each other at training.
We do.
But
we do.
We don't see each other enough.
We don't, but we're doing we do like an owners conference every year in training. So we get to get all the owners together. We get a photo shoot together, which we get to like have lunch and dinner, and we, you know, have our slumber party at Sarah's house and stuff,
right.
Which is always fun. But we have such a good family and such a good vibe that it's nice to see each other around. And like Alex from Colorado came out. And she was like, oh, I can come down. And I was like, in no world would I ever think that like our Colorado office owner would be in Palm Beach. Like,
when the connections are insane, because like she ended up here. I think we're from like the same city in North Carolina,
and it's crazy. She was in Myrtle for a while, with working with Dallas and everybody.
Yeah, no, she was a Myrtle Beach intern, like in the beginning of her SMB journey. I think in like 2020.
I love it.
It's so crazy. We're so like. If you're a Swiftie, you'll get it like invisible string. It's insane.
It's true. If you're a Swiftie, I love it.
Which I feel like we're very like SMB gives Swiftie vibes. Like we collectively, but
and we're boss bitches.
Yes. Oh yeah. Like it is what it is.
Well, I think that the main. I mean, she's a powerhouse, and I think us.
So Jacque got to go to the Eras tour, and Caroline is definitely upset about it. If you're wondering,
tonight. After rehearsal, we're gonna go through all the videos and make her super jealous.
I was working a wedding while she was at the concert, and she was sending me videos, and I was like, "Wow."
Yeah, I was getting a lot of hate texts. I was sending Ray Costas a Swiftie too, and I was sending him videos, and he was like, "I'm at a wedding. I hate you. Please stop talking to me. Here's my number. I'm blocking you. Bye."
But I do love that for you because I feel like the Eras tour will definitely go down in history 100%. Whether you're a hater or not, it is what it is.
Oh,
and you got to experience it, which is amazing.
And it's funny because I talked to my bride for tomorrow was saying that she went like last year and she's so super jealous because she's like, now I feel like I got the shaft because I didn't get
the new album.
The new album.
Yeah.
And you know, they took Florida off the set list.
Yeah, but you guys, but Florida got it every night.
When it came
with
on,
Florence.
Yes.
Insane.
When it came on, like the energy in that stadium was insane singing that song.
I would have been crying. Like literally, my dad makes fun of people who cry at concerts, but I would have been bawling.
I was more like, it's like that momhood where I'm watching my girls enjoy it.
Yeah, I would have
like
definitely been crying
watching
if I were
them
you.
more than I'm watching Taylor because I'm loving their energy and their enjoyment of it. It was like perfect. It was such an amazing experience for the whole family. We had so
and
much
you guys
fun
all dressed up. I love it.
We did. My daughter wanted my husband to wear a Travis Kelce jersey.
Yes.
He was like, yeah, I'm not wearing that. I'm not wearing that. But we have 2 daughters, and so he wore a In My Girl Dad Era.
No, I love that.
And I didn't see another one like that. The other T-shirt I saw there that I really, really loved was the. It was funny. It was the. Spending a lot of money at the moment.
Yes.
Which I loved as well. I thought that was really cool.
But worth every penny.
I love that as well.
So I do have kind of a crazy story with one of these cities. Not really crazy. I feel like, every once in a while we get a cuckoo bride.
What? Once in a while. Very rare. Very rare. Never happens. Never. Almost never.
Well, I had one. Love her though. She's so sweet.
Yeah.
I feel like not bridezilla at all. Just a little cuckoo. She was older.
That's way better.
Yeah.
Tell us her name. I'm just kidding. Tell us the name, venue. I want to know everything. No, I'm kidding.
She would CC me on every single email that she ever would send to anyone.
Yeah.
Ever. And so she did put a lot of trust in us, and she is really sweet. And, we delivered as we always do. But on the morning of her wedding, she calls me and, I don't even know what about. I think she just wanted to talk. And she ends the conversation with, okay, love you. See you soon. And I was like, oh, okay.
Did you say love you too?
It took me by surprise. So I was like,
then you feel awkward, like, okay, thank you.
Yeah. I was actually with one of the other owners, and we kind of look at each other and we're just like, okay. And she's like, you're going to have to say I love you at some point of the day. And I'm like, I know, like now I have to.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the day, it's probably the most smooth wedding day I've ever had just because it was a great day.
Do you not feel when it's super smooth like that, something's wrong?
Yeah,
I should be doing something.
Whoa.
Something should be happening right now. Yeah.
Yes. So I get a text from the bride. She is supposed to be arriving at hair and makeup, but she told the hair stylist that she wants to start over, wash her hair over, and do everything over again. So that's the point we're at.
Great.
Yeah, we're supposed to be at makeup, hair's supposed to be done, but she said that the temperature of the water was too cold, so it didn't. The texture of her hair didn't come out the way she wanted it. So they started all over. And then she calls me and she's like, hey, like I need you to go to Neiman Marcus and pick up my wedding dress. And
on the wedding day?
On wedding day.
How do we know it fits?
I don't know. On wedding day. So I'm like, okay. And at this point, like I think once you do weddings enough, like nothing really stresses you out. It's just like you kind of take back and this was in my brain, like this was so funny. I'm like, yeah, I'll go get your wedding dress on your wedding day. Like, girl, what? So I walked there and, I talked to her stylist and that was a whole thing. And she calls me and she's like, don't tell any of my bridal party that you're going to do this. And I was like, okay, no worries. Like, they don't need to know, whatever.
Is it secret?
And she's like,
secret wedding dress?
And she's like, I have to tell you something, sweetheart. And I'm like,
because she loves you.
She loves me. And I'm like, yeah, like what's up? And she's like, my whole family hates me. They're so jealous of me. And if you tell them anything, they're going to twist it and send it to like 50 different people.
Huh.
And I was like, at this point, I'm like trying for her not to hear me laughing because I'm like, what is my life right now? I feel like I'm in a scene of The Devil Wears Prada. I'm in Neiman Marcus. I have her wedding dress. And
I saw that reel of you and I was like, look at you. They're like,
walking through
this shopping through the city.
Right.
It was like Sex in the City. It was
literally
hilarious.
That's what I was laughing in my head because I'm like, I feel like I'm like,
you're being punked.
Yes. And so then we get off the phone, we talk about our family, and I'm like, okay, well, like, just let me know when you're done with your hair. I don't want you to stress about makeup. We'll get it worked out, keeping them calm. And she's like, okay, sweetheart, I love you. I'll see you soon. And I'm like, what is my life right now? Like, what the heck?
That's amazing.
Like,
I love that.
I mean, cuckoo, but in a good way.
In a good way, though.
Yeah.
I love that because I had a wedding. I did an older couple one time, and it was like I always... No, it's your wedding day. You only do this once.
Yeah.
You only do this once. Make it this, make it that.
Yeah.
Do what exactly you want. And I said that, and she's like, this is our 4th marriage. I was like, huh, no shit.
Oh, that'll do it.
Well, you only do it once 4 times. I was like, well, 4th time's a charm. Like, where do you go from there? And I loved their wedding because she wore like a silver dress. Mm-hmm. They were the cutest.
This wedding dress was pink that I picked up.
Yeah, this was like the cutest couple ever. And they had their grandchildren walk.
Oh, so cute.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm kind of obsessed with this. I love that. I love the different out of the box weddings.
Yeah, no, I love when people can they can be fun with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like she kind of slayed with the pink wedding dress.
Yeah. Did you have a pink diamond too?
I don't know. No, I don't think she did.
Like I always tell her, I'm like, let me see the ring. Let me see it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he loves you a lot. She's like, yeah, he has to. I was like, okay.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So I think this is kind of fun because when we go to a different location, we either help with the day of, or we're helping that other owner, or it's one of our weddings in that location. So I have a wedding that booked me. They live in Miami. We were going to do the wedding in Miami. And then as we're through that planning process, they said, you know what? We've gone through everything and we really want to move our wedding to Atlanta. And I was like, okay, now we have a girl in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So what I think is really fun is our stretch and our reach across the nation is basically, I can go to Atlanta and do the wedding. That's not a problem. But what's nice is I have never done a wedding in Atlanta, so I don't know who sucks and who doesn't.
Right.
So our Atlanta girl is like sending me her preferred vendor list. She's like, this is who you need to talk to.
Well, also her vendors hear that S&B is having a wedding, and they're just like, oh my God, okay, yay.
Yeah.
You know, like that's amazing.
Like tomorrow you're in town because you have a wedding down in Fort Lauderdale, which is great. And that's your wedding. So it's not like one of my weddings you're helping with. And I really think that whether I'm helping somebody with a wedding, it really depends on A, my season. Yeah. And it really depends on B, what they're booking. So like my wedding in Atlanta is a full planning wedding. So I'm going to go and do that wedding with my team. Now, Hannah in Atlanta is amazing. And she sent me the preferred vendor list and she was like, listen, do you need any of my team that day? Or do you have your own girls?
Well, I mean, you did the same thing. You're like, here, you offered me your team. You're like, oh, here's a layout, you know, like
exactly.
And any vendors you need.
Exactly. And I was like, I don't want to take any team because it's a full planning wedding. I'm not just showing up the day of.
Yeah.
I think that because I think there's a difference of, are you helping somebody or are you coming in? For me, I make that differential by, is it a full planning wedding? Is it my full planning wedding? And then I'm going to go and I'm going to run the whole wedding with my team and we're going to do it that way. But I also don't want to take her girls off of a wedding in case she books something and tie her up. I think that it depends on the distance as well. So like I've done weddings in Myrtle Beach and it was a full wedding. That was my wedding because Sarah was super booked and she was like, here, do you want a wedding in Myrtle Beach? Chicago, if I do a wedding in Chicago, I'm not going to fly into Chicago to help for the day of, but I'm going to 100%, if it's my wedding, like if Lauren's like, I can't take it, it's yours, I'll fly up and do a wedding there. How do you differentiate? Is it a distance thing for you as well, or?
Well, I mean, right now I feel like my answer is I'll go anywhere and everywhere just because I'm like,
Caroline gets around.
I like my schedule to be busy. But I feel like if I was, more in your shoes and I was more booked in my own city, a few years in, I would definitely take the route of, having that partial or full because you're so involved in the planning process with them from when they sign with you to wedding day.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't go to another city just to help out on a wedding day. But I would lead if they needed a wedding.
If I'm out of season, if it's dead of summer, and Lauren's like freaking out and like calling, like 100%, I'll come there. I'll stay with Lauren and I'll help her with a wedding.
Yeah, we get to hang out.
As long as it's out of my season, like these girls know, call me for anything. I told Sarah in Myrtle Beach when we went up for training, I said, do you have any weddings you need help with? Like I'm here, I'll roll with you.
Well, I think that's honestly so refreshing for us because we get so in the groove and during wedding season. When we get off in our off season, it's wonderful because we work so hard in season. But it's also nice to have one every now and again just to like, you're like, oh, I'm still the shit. Okay.
Becca likes it because Becca's like, I get chunky over the summer because I'm not doing 7 or 8 miles of it because like I get
those
summer
steps
fat.
are crazy.
And then I find when I get back into season, like October, we started slamming back into season. I'm like, God, my legs hurt again. I'm out of shape because I haven't been running weddings. But even my team, my lead planners are like, hey, we have nothing going on. We're not executing weddings here. Does Myrtle need help? Does Chicago need help?
Well, I think that speaks volumes because we love what we do. So we're like, we don't like to sit still. I think collectively as a company whole, we do not like to sit still.
Sarah does not franchise out to lazy girls.
Yeah,
she wants
we're
grinders. We're riding and grinding. And the whole team, every owner, every lead planner, every assistant planner, I feel like our teams are all like ride or die. Like my girls are up for anything. One of my assistants, Paige, has flown to the Bahamas with me. Sarah Savannah came down and flown to the Bahamas with me. Sarah Myrtle Beach has come down and done weddings with me. I've done the Myrtle Beach weddings with her. And I told Sarah in Georgia, I was like, hey, anytime you need help, call me.
It's fun for us. And also it gives us that
too.
Yeah. I mean,
totally different.
It gives you that traveling aspect. And like, also we still have lives, like your kids are graduating soon.
Dagger in my heart.
Like if you book a wedding that weekend, you have a team, but let's just say your team is booked. Like these girls have your back to come and take care of that wedding.
Well, That happened at the Taylor Swift. We booked the concert, and it was a year and a half in advance. I'm never turning down a wedding and saying, sorry, I have family stuff that day. And that's what I love about not being a one-man band.
Yeah, we won't ever turn it down.
No, I can say, absolutely, we will book your wedding. This is your planner, and she's amazing. And then the bride can communicate with that planner the entire time and feel comfortable going on.
I think that says a lot about us, too, is that we like what we do so much, so we're not... there are some people out there that be like, oh, no. Sorry.
Yeah. What do you have? What challenges are you finding being in a new location? Because I remember my location when I franchised out 7 years ago, it wasn't necessarily like starting my own business because we had such a brand already, but it was more so of like saying like somehow getting the word out that this brand who's so well established and is killing it is here now. So you can already trust and know that we know what we're doing, but we're here now. Yeah. So feel free to book us and feel confident booking us. What challenges are you finding in Tampa?
That is definitely one. Obviously, the power of connection is insane and networking is crazy. But I think the thing, and I think I've talked about, I feel like I talk about this every single time I meet a new vendor in Tampa. In Myrtle Beach, like I had my people. Yeah. You know, and that's what I want in Tampa. So that's probably the biggest challenge is I don't have my people there yet because I mean, like, you know, if you have a good vendor team, your wedding is going to be amazing. Like, and that's no better thing than to work with people that you love.
You love and trust, and they have the same passion that you do.
And they're professional, and it's just amazing.
Communication to me when booking a new vendor is key. I love forming a new relationship with a new vendor I've never worked with. But communication is key. I have a wedding coming up, and they literally were like, I've sent the DJ so many emails. I've sent the DJ so many calls. Never got the wedding's in 2 weeks, and I'm like, I don't know if your DJ has fallen off the face of the earth, and maybe we should go in a different direction because I don't want the wedding day to come and your DJ is not showing up. Yeah, I had that years ago with a photographer. She's like, listen, I've never heard from my photographer. And I was like, listen, let's go in a different direction. Let's find somebody else. Let's not risk this. This is your photos. There is no going back.
Photos are huge.
Yeah. There's no calling that day and going, can we get a photographer out here?
You need them to be legit.
Yeah. And the wedding day, the photographer made it a nightmare. She fought with the bridal party. She took her break during sunset. Like a photographer that's an artist does not take a break during sunset. No. A photographer doesn't really take a break.
No, they don't.
And it was one of those, she's like, well, I'm on my break. I was like, this is golden hour. Like, wait, what?
Yeah. Like, what? Like at this point in the timeline, we're accommodating to you because you need to go get those shots.
We don't take breaks during golden hour. This is golden hour, you know? And she's like, well, I'm on my break. I'll be there in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, it's golden dark. Hour's over. Yeah. So it's one of those things. She ended up, the photographer left before the wedding was over. She got in a fist fight with a guest. That takes the cake.
She got in a fist
fight with the guest on the dance floor. She said somebody bumped her and bumped her camera. So she punched them? She shoved him, and then he had a couple drinks, so he shoved him back, and then it turned into this whole thing outside the venue. I said I went out there and I was trying to ease it over for the couple because the bride was hyperventilating. Yeah. And I went out there and I was like, listen, you know, how do we get this to come back in? I will remove the unruly guests that she kept complaining about. And I said, and she said, it's about 10 people. I said, that's fine. I will remove those 10 people. We'll get security. We'll remove those 10 people. Give me 30 minutes. Let me get through speeches, cake cutting, grand exit, and you can go and leave the wedding early. Just get me 30 minutes and I will buzz through this timeline, finish it up, and you can leave. She said, no, I'm not shooting the rest of the wedding. I am in fear of my safety and I'm not shooting the rest of the wedding. So I went and talked to the bride. I came back out. I said, you know what? Fine. And they were like wanting to pay her more money to come in. And I said, you know what? Fine. I said, just give me the SIM card. Give me the SIM card. The bride just wants her photos. You don't have to edit everything. You've been paid in full. Just give me the SIM card. She said, no, my property. I'm not touching it. I had to do...
What?
Watch. I had to do grand exit out the back of the venue because I had 3 Martin County Sheriff's officers because she was making an assault statement in the front of the venue. I had to do grand exit out the back of the venue with iPhones.
Oh my God.
And I remember leaving that wedding and it was like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I called Sarah and she didn't even say hello. She goes, oh no, it's got to be bad if you're calling me at this time of night. I said, Sarah, listen to this.
Holy shit.
It took them a year to get their photos to the date only because in their contract it said they had a year. At 364 days, the bride emailed out, if I don't have my photos in the next 24 hours, I am suing the hell out of you.
Yeah.
And she got her photos, but I said, God, I wish they would have listened to me and found a new photographer.
I feel like people like that should not be working in this industry.
Why are you here?
Like, you know that you're going to be around drunk people all night.
It is a wedding. It's a wedding, and it's like not about you.
Right.
Handle your business. Put your big girl panties on. Now, if you're in an unsafe environment, fine. But she kept saying all night. She was trying to get out of it.
Yes.
She kept saying, well, the bridal party was lining up and they're drinking. Far. Oh, yeah. The bridal party was lining up and going through stuff. And she said, she flat out said, if you guys aren't going to listen to me, I'm leaving. I'm not shooting this wedding anymore. Like, she was trying to get out of doing her job the entire night. And no, by any stretch are we ever saying a vendor should feel or be unsafe at a wedding.
No, I mean, we even have that protecting us in our contract. If we feel unsafe, we can leave. But that is like, if we're in danger.
Yeah. I mean, we have issues at every wedding. There's a fine line between drunk people having fun and getting a little out of hand to assaulting you.
Yeah.
And no, I don't ever expect a vendor to stay there and be assaulted or anything like that. This was not that. This was not that at all. Somebody bumped into her and she was like, bye.
Which she was probably by the dance floor or...
She was right by the dance floor.
Yeah, like, girl.
So, yeah.
Is this your first wedding? Are you new here? Yeah. I can't. Like, no way.
Are you... You're new around here. Yeah, we did grand exit at the back of the venue, which was the very first.
I could picture you. You guys, we got to go this way because
when we had to get the bride a paper bag because she was hyperventilating, I was like, okay.
Which I hate that for her.
I hate that for her because that is her memory. And we even, after the wedding, we were even making plans. I had called in every photographer friend I have and being like, can we reshoot this wedding? This is what happened. And so many people were like, I'll do it for free.
Yeah.
I'll come in, get her wedding dress.
And these are things, obviously, you weren't expecting this to happen. So, like, you're going overtime on wedding day just to, like, clean up after this girl.
And I think it's important to note, like, venues specifically have a preferred vendor list. Venues also have a not allowed on property list. Check them both.
Yeah.
Check them both while you're booking.
And also, I think it's important, too, is, listen to us when we recommend, or if we tell you, like, hey, like,
if you don't trust
I have a bad story from here, we're not trying to shit on them.
No, if you trust...
We have their best interests.
And there's a politically correct way of saying of like, I wouldn't go in that direction.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you the whores and door, but I wouldn't go in that direction. Yeah. And if you can't trust your planners and your vendor recommendations... Trust is everything in this business. Reputation is everything. And you have to trust that we want nothing but your day to go smooth as possible. So, and that means booking people that we know and trust. They make our preferred vendor list not because they have a really cool Instagram, because they've come through for us, tried and true every single time. I will say
I'm in that process right now with kind of trying to figure out who my peeps are, and if I will work with a photographer that'll punch the guest and leave. Yeah.
Well, I think she's in your area. I'll let you know. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Send that over to me.
Yeah, we'll do after we stop filming. So,
oh my gosh.
I think we could sit here and talk all day.
No, we really could. I'm going to have to come back to Palm Beach sometime soon.
You're coming back for the grand opening.
I know. We can probably knock some out. I can't wait for the grand opening.
I think we should start doing training here once in a while.
Maybe we have talked about that. Well, kind of just like, we're literally so spread out. Like, it'd be so cool to just go see everybody. Obviously, we could never make that happen all in 1 year, but spread out.
Fun. It would be a lot of fun for sure. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again on
Yes,
another
thank you.
This Takes the Cake podcast from our South Florida Palm Beach location with Tampa.
Woohoo!
Tampa's
Thanks
in the
for
house.
having me. Oh my gosh. We hope you guys have a very happy holiday season.
Yeah.
And if you don't already, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to follow us on Instagram at This Takes the Cake and Stunning and Brilliant Events to see more of what we're up to.
Yeah.
So.
And Spotify, Apple, iTunes, follow everything, and we'll give you a quick follow back because we love our couples and our vendors.
We love you guys.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.